Hello, Freedom High School. This is Mr. Hollister. I'm going to try to do a brief lesson on how to access TCI to solve and complete your assignments for your classes like World Cultures and Geography and World History. This can also apply to US History and any of the other teachers that are using TCI to fulfill the learning during this distance learning time, right? The best way for you to turn in your work is online. The best way for your teachers to give you feedback is reviewing the online questions. So without further ado, I will get started. Let me start by sharing my screen. Okie doke, and the first place we're gonna go is to clever.com. Clever.com is the website that we use that houses all of our online resources, such as our textbooks. You're going to click up here and you're going to log in as a student. You may have to find Liberty Union High School District or Freedom High School, and your username and password, which you'll enter right here, is your student ID. Your username and your password are the exact same. It is your student ID. Go ahead and set that up. Once you get in there, go ahead and log into Clever. You should see a list that comes to with several of your teachers, and you're going to want to click into your social science teachers classroom, okay? Or homeroom as they call it here. Mine is a little bit different than yours because I'm on the teacher side, but you're going to see a page with your teacher's name on it. Ultimately, what we're doing is we're looking for this purple TCI icon. This is what we want to find, okay? You may see it here. You may see it sometimes when I was teaching this and we were using this in class prior to distance learning. We had to scroll down and find it. TCI, that's the company that makes our textbooks, okay? So now that we're in TCI, you're gonna come to a screen that looks like this, okay? This is your textbook, the online version. Anything over here with a green dot, you can see as a student. I have a little bit different access, but we both want to click on this button here, assignments. And every week on every Monday, your teachers are going to roll out a new weekly assignment. As of now, our assignments are to take about an hour and a half a week. So you can either do it in one chunk or over 2 days, 3 days, whatever you need to do to meet the requirements that your teachers are asking us to do and that the district wants us to do to fulfill this distance learning requirement. You're going to see the assignment right here, the start date and the end date. Take a look. This should be familiar to you. The start date was Monday, that's yesterday. It ends next Monday, and then we'll have a new assignment. What do? We click on this link right here and get started. All of those links in there have been assigned to you, and we're going to go through them right now. So we're working on a mapping lab of Europe and Russia. The mapping lab goes through the climates and the maps and the geography of this area. It gets us set up for further investigation in our learning in the upcoming weeks. If you are so inclined, the textbook will read to you.
1. Look at the unfinished outline map of Europe. Then draw and label these features where you think they are located. The Prime Meridian, the British Isles, Spain and Portugal, and Italy. Political boundaries for any other countries you think you know. The ocean that lies west of this region and a large body of water that lies south of this region. Any European cities you think you know.
Alrighty, so what we're going to do is get started. The prime meridian, that's that 0 degrees mark. Is it latitude or longitude? Does anyone remember? Is it latitude or longitude, right? It's longitude. 0 degrees longitude is the prime meridian, and it goes through, in my mind, it goes through the British Isles. However, we don't see those yet. So the prime meridian goes through the British Isles, which I'm going to have to draw shortly, but I will draw it right now. And it is some, ooh, let's see. I did not like that. That was a bad line. Let's see if I can draw a better line. Shapes, lines and arrows. How about something like this? We can bring it here. We need to stretch it out, and I need to rotate it, right? So it's not quite in the right spot yet. There it goes. Prime meridian something close to that. There you go, prime meridian. And I can label it PM. Okay, so what these maps do, they just get us acclimated with where we're working, right? So we could go through the rest of these questions and come down here and look at this. Looks like a map of Russia, and we want to look about Russian cities like Moscow, right? St. Petersburg. Okay. What areas are cold, polar climate? What ocean lies to the north? Where's the Arctic Circle? We can look for all that. I'll leave that for you students to do. Once we're done with that, right? Once we're done with that, we're going to go to the next section. Okay. And the next section here, introduction, it corresponds with the page in the textbook. So I'm going to show it to you right now. It corresponds to the page in the textbook. And that page is 204. So we can read the textbook or we can read right here. It looks like we've got a physical features map as we're reading through. Physical features map of Russia. This one was of Europe, so we're looking at Europe and Russia. Gone through. I've got a video I can play. Write some questions you have about physical geography in this region. Physical geography, right? Physical geography. Are there many high mountains in Europe? Okay. Write down any questions you want. Let us know what you're thinking. We can help you through this. Okay. Next section, and I'm going to move faster now. Physical features corresponds to page 205 in the textbook. We go ahead and read through here. We look at this elevation profile. Huh, that's funny. My last question was about mountains. Look at the Alps. Okay, the Alps are very high. Black Sea is very low. The Carpathian Mountains, Caspian Depression, we're looking at elevation in feet. Just as a reminder, right? Oakley is just barely above sea level, way down there. Okay, and here's another map. And the question says, find 2 or more sentences with information that is geographically represented on the map. Okay, so we got to look at the reading and answer the questions. We answer those questions right here. For instance, I can see in this physical features portion on page 205 that we talk about a giant peninsula attached to Eurasia in Europe. We talk about Europeans' rivers as water highways. We talk about the broad plains of Russia. Russia is mostly broad plains. And I found that right in the textbook. And as you answer here, it's going to save automatically. And you're going to continue to go through all the questions that your teachers have provided. We move on to climate, right? We see another map about climate. Remember, this is the mapping lab, so it's going to be a little bit heavy on maps. And we look at a map here of the climate zones in Europe, marine west coast, Mediterranean climate, right? Mediterranean climate is kind of a mild climate, not too hot, not too cold. Tundra, it's not an automobile. It's very, very cold, and it's way far up north. Almost always frozen. Never, the ground never defrosts in the tundra. All right, moving forward, we'll have our answers here. What's the question? Find 2 or more sentences with information that is geographically representative. So you're showing us that you're reading by answering these questions. And as you go through all of these sections, you'll complete them. Your answers will be recorded. Your teachers will see that you've completed them. And you'll get through all of these. Some of them are challenges where we go through. In this case, you're looking at latitude and longitudes. So you're working on a global grid. The last part of this week's assessment is the lesson game. And you're going to go to the lesson game, and this is going to basically encapsulate our learning. The better you do on this, the more we understand or believe that you have studied. You can take as long as you need. You'll go ahead and answer these questions. Not sure why question 1 isn't popping up, but you should have a question 1. Here's question 2. Which part of Europe has the most amount of coal? So we're going to have to go through the reading and figure it out. Which part of Europe has the most amount of coal, right? So where was that? Where would we find out about coal? Where would we find out about coal in our readings, right? We're looking for it. We're looking for it. We're trying to find it. And we found it. It's Siberia. All right, and this is what you do. Once you're done, the scores are automatically submitted. Your teachers are going to be continuing to check. Clever. If you have any questions, let us know. Reach out via email. I know many of your teachers are doing Zoom office hours as well. Anyways, I hope everyone's hanging in there, and I hope this helped. If you see anything that I need to fix or anything that you may find may help other students, please go ahead and leave it in the comments. I would appreciate it. All right, take care, everybody. Hope all is well.